In this video, I will talk about how to biohack mitochondrial health. Okay, so biohacking mitochondrial health. In this video, I will explain how to properly boost your ATP, your energy. Okay, so what supplement you can use? Should you use peptides like MOTS-C? How you can boost NAD plus? Okay, so are things like LNADP or intravenous NAD plus really useful? Okay, so I will show you why you need proper mitochondrial health and what it means for your testosterone, energy and longevity. Okay, so uh, maybe you're asking why you should optimize your mitochondrial health. Okay, so if you are athlete, okay, or you are bodybuilder, okay, you are overtrained, okay, if you maybe had long COVID, okay, if you had too much oxalate in your diet, okay, maybe you've been taking SSRIs, okay, maybe you've been taking things like 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, maybe you are sleep apnea, maybe you are over 30, okay, so or maybe you just want to reverse your biological age, then you need to optimize your mitochondria, okay, so why mitochondria matter, okay? Mitochondria is your power plant, okay, of your cells, okay? So also it produces like 90% of your cellular energy, ATP, okay? So at the end you have ATP energy, okay? So uh, also mitochondria, if it is unhealthy, okay, or the whole mitochondrial boost is done in not proper way, okay, it will produce a lot of ROS, okay, and this is not good. You will have a lot of inflammation, oxidative stress. Mitochondria are responsible for like 90% of these ROS, okay, so you really need to understand that also uh, improving your mitochondrial health, you will decrease chronic inflammation, DNA methylation, iron downregulation, low energy, even ED, and so on. Okay, so mitochondria matters because it is central for neurotransmitters. Okay, dopamine, serotonin, GABA. Okay, steroidogenesis. Okay, so I explained this in many other videos, for example, Silajit, okay, so testosterone booster, but how, okay, it supports mitochondrial health, okay, you will not take it alone or like standalone solution, but it's really great. For example, Silajit itself is really great for like recycling coenzyme Q10, okay, so you really need to understand the logic behind everything, okay, so and I also decided to make this video because I see that many guys are using the same mistake, and I would like to give a little bit order to everything, okay, so yeah, for example, intense bodybuilding, if you are intense athlete, okay, if you have a chronic training, this can overwhelm mitochondria if recovery is weak, okay, so you really need to add antioxidants and cofactors, otherwise you will create a lot of electron leakage and a lot of damage, ROIs, like I already told you, okay, so there are two crucial things, okay, so NAD plus and electron transport chain, okay, so you can increase NAD plus as high as you can, but if your electron transport chain is faulty, then problem, okay, so NAD plus is key electron carrier in ETC, electron transport chain, okay, without this energy production collapses, okay, and ETC itself works in four complexes, okay, this is how the electrons move at the end, you have ATP made, okay, but from my point of view, ETC is most crucial things, and why so many guys have problem with mitochondrial health, even optimizing or biohacking mitochondrial health, is that uh, ETC, electron transport change, is not optimized, and there is electron leak. Again, ROS formation. Okay, so that's the big problem. Okay, you have this complex 1 to 4 flux, and you really need to optimize. Okay, so like I already told you, okay, Silogit is a great thing. Okay, so things like AKG. Okay, so you also need B vitamins as cofactors. There are specific B vitamins that helps with that. Okay, so you need to have adequate oxygenation, but I will talk about this later. And also you need to have a redox balance. Okay, NAD plus to NADH ratio. Okay, so also there is another thing. Okay, this is specific for guys, but NADPH and steroid hormones. Okay, so we need NADPH like for things like 5-alpha reductase enzyme, and this is crucial for DHT. Okay, many guys, if they take huge doses of NAD plus boosters, okay, they can really create disbalance between these. They block 5-alpha reductase enzymes, and that's a problem. Okay, low DHT. Many issue. Okay, so your cortisol increase and so on. Okay, so yeah, so there always need to be proper balance between NAD plus and NADPH as a guy. Okay, because you also want to create enough of DHT, okay, via 5-alpha reductase enzyme. You also need to support PPP, pentose, phosphate pathways. Okay, so there are many good things like good carbs. Okay, you can use things like taurine. Okay, you can use specific B vitamins. Okay, another thing that you can really do in, if you want to, for example, prevent these ROS. Okay, so there are membrane stabilizers and ROS scavengers. Okay, so most of you maybe already seen many videos on methylene blue. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of synthetic things. Does methylene blue help with this? Of course it helps, but it's only a part of a strategy. Okay, it improves ATP, it bypasses like leaky ATC. Okay, it's alternative electron carrier. Okay, so be careful with the dosage, because it can inhibit nitric oxide synthase. You will create a lot of nitric oxide dysregulation, erectile issue. Okay, so for membrane stabilization, you can also use things like glutathione. Okay, you don't need to run like expensive injection therapy. Okay, with glutathione, you have glycine as a precursor, NAC as a precursor. Okay, so NAC is also antioxidant. Okay, so great things for increasing glutathione. Okay, so there are many ways how you can increase. Another thing, melatonin. Okay, so melatonin is not only sleep health. Okay, so be careful about the dosage. Okay, again, it stabilizes inner mitochondrial membrane. Okay, so enhance complex 1 to 4, and also, like I said, it's really strong antioxidant. Okay, it helps also with ROS. Okay, so another thing is also mitochondria uncoupling. If you are producing a lot of ROS, you can like uncouple the production for some time. Okay, so there are things like NAD, NADP, aspirin, caffeine, polyphenols that help with that. Okay, so caffeine is also ATP help. Okay, so B vitamins also play crucial roles in like energy and fatigue reversal. We are talking specifically about B1 thiamine. Okay, because it drives pyruvate, TCA, this support TCA cycle, and at the end we have NADH production. Okay, so deficiency in specific B vitamins leads to fatigue, neuropathy, and mitochondrial dysfunction. Okay, so I'm big fan of B vitamins. Honestly, I don't always supplement with B vitamins, but I do it on demand. Okay, so you can even do simple blood test, okay? So for vitamin B deficiency, there are also other ways how to see if you have any deficiencies, okay? So for example, deficiency in vitamin B6 can lead to sleep apnea, okay? So can also lead to insomnia, yeah, can worsen sleep apnea, and this can also lead to insomnia, okay? So the problem with, for example, with B1 is pretty well known that can reverse chronic fatigue, okay? But you really need to know how, okay? Because some types of B vitamins can even trigger paradoxical symptoms at first, okay? So because there is a supplement, and you also need to have cofactors, okay? So I was not talking about tests you can do for mitochondria. I think in all tests, mitochondrial health is already involved, okay? You can do, in USA, you can do tests like MitoMe, and I think also in Europe there is MitoSwap available, okay? So, yeah. Also, ATP and mitochondria. ATP is the energy currency, okay? And mitochondria is the factory for energy, okay? So you need to distinguish between these two, okay? So the problem is that oral ATP isn't efficient, okay? The better way is to optimize mitochondrial production, but we also have great supplements like cordyceps, okay? So creatine can also help, but be careful with creatine, especially if you are athletes. Creatine can affect negatively VO2 max, okay? So also magnesium is really great for ATP activation, okay? So peptides, there is a lot of hype recently about MOTS-C peptide. MOTS-C peptide, what it does, okay? So it improves fatty acid oxidation, insulin sensitivity, endurance, and can support longevity pathways, but it doesn't work alone, okay? So you really need to understand the whole system. The whole system need to be built up. If you need my help, you will find a link for my email and for my coaching under this video. Okay, so with MOTS-C, it's like, I would describe this as a PQQ, okay? PQQ create new mitochondria. It's crucial for mitochondrial biogenesis, and MOTS-C gives like a signal for producing new mitochondria, okay? So MOTS-C, many guys, this is why I always tell the side effects, okay? So most guys are crazy about peptide. They start using MOTS-C without, for example, improving ATC and other factors, but also MOTS-C peptide is pretty well known that can lower folate levels, okay? So guys, if you need to have a proper erection, okay, you definitely need to have a proper folate levels, and MOTS-C lower folate levels, okay? So it's very similar to methotrexate. I got many clients, older clients that have been using methotrexate. Methotrexate is a medication that can reduce BH4. I don't know if it is connected with folate, but probably at the end, MOTS-C and methotrexate can have negative effect on BH4. But BH4, okay, we need for nitric oxide synthase. We also need for neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin. Okay, so you always need to support MOTS-C with other supplements, otherwise it will be bad, okay? So boosting NAD plus, the smart ways, many of you have already paid thousands for probably useless things like NMN, okay? So there are studies on NR that can effectively boost NAD plus, okay? So you need to be careful. Okay, you also need to optimize ETC first, and then you add NAD plus boosters. Again, you need to have a proper balance between NAD plus and NADPH. Otherwise, you will block your DHT production because your 5-alpha reductase is not working as it should. Okay, so yeah, for ETC efficiency, also there is support like oxygenation, okay, training recovery, you know, so also oxygenation and mitochondrial efficiency, okay, so what we can add also like things like hyperbaric oxygen therapy, but like I said, first fix ATC, and then we can go with things like additional things like hyperbaric oxygen therapy, because more oxygen means a faster electron flow in ATC. We have less leakage, less ROS formation, okay? So it also stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis, okay? So it's definitely a good thing. Okay, we also have infrared and red light therapy, okay, photobiomodulation. In many guys that have been using 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, this has helped a lot, because in PSSD, in PFS clients, photobiomodulation can help, okay? So because it increases ATP synthesis, without ATP, there is no testosterone production, okay? So it also activates cellular repair and angiogenesis, okay? So also another great thing that can help with mitochondrial health, okay? So guys, hope this video was helpful, okay? And let me know what you think.